Hello, this is my virtual presentation for TLAB 2014 at Berkhamsted School. My name's Sarah Findlater and I'm an assistant principal from London. This presentation is on engaging English lessons and digital tools in the classroom, and this section of the presentation will be focusing on specifically the digital tools and the different and decent approaches I've been having a look into over the last year or so, and the digital tools that I've used with my classes that I've seen have real impact and allow the pupils to progress and it be a real useful learning tool for them within the classroom. So I'll begin by running through some of the ways that I've done class blogging over the last year or two. And there are a number of different ways you can approach this. One approach is just have one blog for the whole class to take part in, and I will show you an example of that. So this is my Year 11 blog that I did quite some time ago. And this is now closed, as you can see, but it looks like a website in essence, and the home will have the most recent and up-to-date post on it. You can see along the top here, you can set up very simple tabs for yourself. So for instance, I had the names of the bloggers that were taking part in the activities. I had the overview of the GCSE that we were doing at the time. It's very clear so that the parents and the students could see. And as we went through the different sections, I would highlight these in green. Obviously, these are the last ones we did before I closed it down, so we didn't highlight those ones. But they would be in red, and then through the year, we'd colour them in green so they knew exactly what they had left of the exam to do. We also had a section for mark schemes there. Learning links I left up there, that was general revision, and then for each of the units they were studying, as you can see going down, they had a number of links they could just click on. And that would make sure that it takes them straight to the websites that I was advising them to, so you could use that for setting homework. Any YouTube links that we were using in class that either we'd created ourselves or that I'd recommended for them to use, we put it on there. And then I put a recommended reading at the end. So just a list of books that they could read for pleasure, and obviously directed both students and parents to that. So along the side you can see there's just an archive. It's very simple, this one. It's one of my first times I was using a blog myself and with a class. So it had, very simply, we opened it with a post that simply said something like this: the blogging begins, and then one of our other teachers has commented underneath. But as we went further in, for instance, I was using different tasks with them and they would then interact with the blog as well. So really useful website in general, and a blog that would update very regularly and very frequently that all of the class could use. Okay, another way that you can use it, so you could see some of the activities on the blog that I just showed you. For instance, like the one that you can see here, a task setting. So I basically used the blog at times throughout the year with that particular class. It wasn't this year, it was last year's class, where I would use it for planning really, and I would put my tasks and the activities and the guidelines, or any video clips or anything, the poetry we were studying, anything I wanted them to focus on as a blog post. They'd go in, the blog post would be live and up there for them, and then they would respond to it underneath the actual task that was set. So I will show you an example of that here. So on the class blog you will see, so let's have a look at some of the first ones. Let's just have a look at this one then, one of the first ones that comes up. So a quote analysis. I'd given them a short extract and some questions for them to focus on, and then underneath you can see this is one of the ones where they've commented a few times. There's 19 ones on there. Okay, so if you click in here, on the day they came in, that post would be up and then they would comment underneath. So you can see that a number of them have actually just commented underneath as they go. This was preparation for a controlled assessment in this instance, and they were just commenting underneath, developing along from one another's ideas, and that was live in the lesson that they were doing that. So they would see one another's comments and use that to build on those, and even they began to, as we went through, actually interact with some of the comments and the activities much more on the spot than they were when we first began doing it. Another way you can use it is collaboration, so making sure that your students are all working together. So you can see here is a screenshot of one of the activities we did in class, which actually had 43 comments, and it had both their comments underneath the task, and then I would feed back to them, so you could use it as a dialogue of marking there. And you can also see here one of the students and then another student underneath. I mean, that's a very basic comment. They were just being supportive, really. But there's opportunities there for development of the student commenting and then another student coming in and commenting on that, and then myself underneath again. So just bringing the class together in an orderly way while it's still really interactive and it's live in the classroom. You can get a lot more done than if you're moving groups around, although that is useful as well. This is one way of really quickly getting them to collaborate and look at one another's comments and ideas. For reference, so as I showed you when I showed you the live website, the tabs along the top were really useful for reference. So if I would say we're doing this unit 2 in English language, they could very easily go and check on the website, which one is that on the blog, which one would I need to be looking at. I could direct parents to there. So making sure that they go back and look at, if there's things they need to look at regularly, you can save them in different tabs along the top, and obviously change those dependent on what's relevant for your particular topic or your particular subject. Another one is challenges. So I'll show you a different blog that I've been doing recently with my digital leaders. And this particular blog, we've set a weekly challenge. So we meet on a weekly basis and we blog about different subjects. So this was the starting post, and it gave a little schedule of things we were going to be focusing on over the next few weeks. We're actually just about to start the art one, so we're nearly finished there. And each blog post would have a tag with that particular one in. So if I have a look at the English one first, that's the first one that we did. So this is our opening blog post, and then we've got all our tags down here. You can see some of the students are quite excited about the challenge, which was very sweet. So we had here, the English ones are all grouped together because it's a little tag in the blog. So it will just group those blog posts together. And you can see Ben, Callum, another one from Callum there, Heidi, Jacob. So there's lots of students that actually took part in that blog. So they're very, very brief. I set them a challenge of find some great websites to recommend to teachers and students of this subject. They went out, they researched and investigated, and then they very simply just posted that up as a blog post. A really great way of setting them a challenge and keeping them engaged. A blogging network is one that you could do as well. Now, this is very much a long-term project. This is a great example from Chris Waugh, who's a London-based head of English. He has a brilliant blog network that he's created for his classes. I have learned how to do this and never actually seen this to fruition as yet, but I will do this one day. So here he's got for each one of his year groups, this is actually I think for all of his department now, but it began with just his classes, and you can go in and they each have their own blog. So it links on it's like a network of blogs really. So this is the front page of his year 7 area, and in here he's actually got his lessons, so similar to what you were seeing in my blog. And he does also have the students, so you can have a look at there is a section in here where you can have a look at actually the students' own individual blogs. So that again is a long-term project and one that needs much more time than this presentation, but that's a great way of doing it if you can. Student ownership, it's great for them taking ownership of their own work and making sure that they're proud of their work. They know a lot of people are going to be seeing that, so they do take ownership of that a lot more. They can go in and edit it as well, so it gives them that power. It's a real audience as well, so they know there are going to be teachers, students, and a wider audience, perhaps of people just Googling and finding things they're writing about that will be seeing that. So it makes them care a lot more about the end product. And the crafting process, as I said, they are able to go back in and edit it, even if it's live and it's already posted there. So it encourages them to be proud of the work and to craft what they're doing. And parental engagement as well. It's a live website, it's a live blog, they're able to see it at any time, they can see in class. So when I was doing these tasks and the students were collaborating with my year 11s, if the parents wanted to, they could watch us in class, what we were doing live. That was a really powerful and interesting experience to be a part of. I would recommend class blogging, however you want to do it. It's a great way to work alongside your students. Having a YouTube channel is another great digital tool that I would recommend for teachers of English and all other subjects to be a part of. I have my own YouTube channel, and on there I have many different things. So you can upload videos, such as this one I'm creating now. I'm going to upload this onto my YouTube channel and save it in a particular area so that people can find it again. So you could do that with your classes, create videos perhaps on poems that you're studying, or particular quote analysis, or if you're doing revision topics towards the exams, get the students to create them, or you create them yourself and upload those videos for future reference and for others online if you wanted to share. So you can create playlists. So playlists you can see here in my channel. So this is what you would see if you went to my channel as a visitor. There are a number of different playlists. Some of them are to do with my exam topics. Some of them are to do with my subjects, different topics I'm teaching for different year groups. Some of them are just fun things that I use in my class, like class theme tunes and fun things like that. So there are many different ways, but it's just a way of grouping videos together, really. Department collaboration. You could have a YouTube channel for your department rather than yourself, and get all of your teachers to do little bits and pieces, share out the tasks, and build a great bank of videos to help your students in all year groups to develop and understand the key concepts perhaps of your subject at a much higher level. Student revision. You can create revision videos with or without them, post them up there, have them under very specific titles so they know exactly where to go for each exam. Resource sharing, again, if you're creating as a department, you are sharing resources within and across classes. And for a wider audience as well. I know lots of great English departments that I follow on YouTube that I use their videos in class all of the time. Student involvement, they love getting involved in this. So get them involved in part of the video making or part of the looking after of the YouTube channel. You could open up the comments on particular videos and have them a task set where they have to comment underneath. Obviously, you'll need to watch those comments because if it's open to a wider audience. I'll just to go back to the student revision, the picture down here you'll see actually has one of the poems, one of the poetry collections we study is called Clashes and Collisions from EdExcel, and these are a group of videos that are context clips, so it helps them just understand any social and historical background to the poems that we're studying, and I've got underneath each one which poem it relates to. Really easy revision activity. And privately sharing, so you can create videos and share them privately, so you can just select who you share them with, either via email or a Google Plus account is useful, and you can just share them privately or keep them as a private video just for you to use in class. So if you upload it to YouTube, it doesn't have to be public.